K-Lee. On the internet TV. On the internet TV. Relational. Uplifting. Motivational. We coming straight from the heart with this one.
Trying from the very start. She really tries to do her part. She comes straight from the heart.
Welcome to Straight from Your Heart. I'm your host, Linda K. Lee, and I am excited today. Okay, I know what you're saying. I'm excited all the time, but I'm really excited today. So thank you for joining us. We have a show for you today. I need for you to buckle up, right? I need you to have the buckle that goes right here and the seatbelt that goes right there because we're going on a ride today. We have guests today that I love, that you're going to love when we get through. You're going to either love them or you're going to hate them. Either way, you're going to grow. We have some music that's going to swoon you in love, and you're going to get to meet my love. And you already know. We've put it out there enough. You already know what's going to happen today. So I'm going to make a decision, and my husband is going to make a decision whether or not we even want to do this thing again. You're going to help us out? Stay tuned, stay seated, and stay buckled up. Look, I have to thank a couple of people. I wouldn't even be on the air if it were not for a couple of people. So I want to send a huge shout out to Accentuating Beauty, where Miss Kia Cower hooked her sister up, okay? And her fiance cut all my hair off about 2 weeks ago. But she hooked me up with my little twisties. So I want to send a shout out to them over there on Lakewood Avenue in Atlanta. And I want to shout out Yama Elegance. Now, if you are a model or you have ever wanted to model or you think you got the catwalk down, coming December 1st, right here in Atlanta in the Decatur area, we are having what we call an authentic African fashion show. So if you want to walk the walkway right, then you need to get in touch with us. Go to my website at LeeLegacyProductions.com so that you can sign up for the audition. Now, it's not going to be your regular audition. We are actually going to audition live right here on the show. Yeah, it's going to be like American Idol. We're going to have judges in the front here, and you get to vote. We're going to have it on Facebook Live. You get to vote on who needs to walk that runway. Actors, actresses, singers, we're auditioning for you as well. So I just had to give you those announcements. Are you guys ready? You want to know why the purple and the white and all of that's here? You'll find that out later. Are you ready? We're getting ready to get into this. Now, usually, you know, if you watch my show every week, we go from the commercials right into the music. We're switching things up on you today. We're getting right into the conversation. So I need you to know. I need the audience here to know. Get your questions together. Write them down. Open up. Ask what you always have wanted to ask. If you're single and you're thinking about marriage or you're getting close to somebody and you're serious, you need to get your questions together. You need to ask them. You need to sit still. If you are engaged and you did it with wisdom, then you got to get your questions together. What does that mean if I did it with wisdom? That means you're engaged and you're actually speaking and coaching and counseling with someone. And if you're engaged and you did it not with wisdom, what does that mean? That means you've already paid on the venue. The dress is done. The tuxedos are done. And you ain't talked to nobody. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to get you out of that little insanity mode today. If you're married and you're winning, we call winning in our MAPS community. I mean, you're striving and you're working on it. And more days than not, you're happy. Okay? That's winning. Not perfect, but you are striving for excellence every day. If you're married and you got a boo on the side. Yeah, I said that. If you got a boo on the side or you're thinking about a boo or you want to go, and half the time when you come home from work and you drive and you want to get off the exit somewhere else other than come home, you want to stay. And I'm not just talking about something theoretically. You will find out today that I'm actually talking about my life. We're getting ready to get into this. Look, let me do this. Let me introduce them the way I can introduce them, and then I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Okay, so how do you introduce people that feels your heart, right? How do you introduce people that know you almost better than you know yourself? How do you introduce people that walked in your face and told you, oh, you're so strong? I'm like, yeah, thank you, but you're so wrong. How do you introduce people that helped you grow? How do you help people that when they see you, they can walk up to you? Years ago, she walked up to me and she said, you got a cloud all over you. It's like this darkness all over you. And during that time, I was losing a sibling from a deadly disease. But I thought I was walking happy, but I wasn't. And she saw it, and she knew how to care for me. Caring for me didn't mean babying me. Caring for me sometimes meant pushing me out, not allowing me to get all up and cling in her. How do you introduce them? You introduce them like this. I bring to some. I introduce to some. I present to the ones that know them. Glenn P. Brooks Jr. and Cherie Brooks Jr. Now, she'll tell you about her name, Jr., in a minute. Oh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Wow.
That was quite an introduction.
Absolutely.
You're quite a couple.
I'm sitting here saying to myself, okay, so who is she talking about? No, it is so good to be here, Linda. Thank you so much for having us.
I know. I'm I thank you for allowing Cherie to come early so that we can get it out. So
I know y'all.
I dreamed all last night. I was like, how are we going to do that? We're going to sit up there and actually do an interview. And she and I eyeing each other, cooing across the face.
Right.
I thank you for coming. I thank you for loving us. It's been 6 years since we did this thing. It's time again.
Yeah, I'm excited. One of the reasons why I'm excited, you got a studio audience here. You've got an audience that's viewing us by way of perhaps Facebook Live, certainly through television. And I think that people get caught up on what things look like, but not what it is. And unfortunately, that traps most people. And when you come to this place where you and Antonio are, this took work. And I think that unfortunately, most people are not even ready mentally, Cherie. I think intellectually they get it, but they're not ready for that work. And you guys have been just one of those couples that we've had the opportunity to mentor over the years that get it, and it makes a coach's job easier. I think the thing for coaches is watching the player, and if I use that term, or in this case, the person I'm coaching, watch the light bulb flash, watch it flash, and then keep flashing, and then before you know it, it's solid, and it's on, and they get it. And at that particular point, now they can utilize the skills and what you taught them to be able to grow. And I think that foundationally, that's where relationships lie. If you don't bolster your skill sets, you're in trouble. So I'm proud to see that you guys have made it to 32. A lot of people don't make it to 32 years of living, let alone being married. This is good.
Right, and I'm just so proud of you and your growth over the years. We've walked together through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I was with the other way. Just tell the truth. It was ugly, bad, then good.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's so good to see you guys just thriving in your relationship and going through the many pitfalls that you guys have experienced and just being able to overcome them.
Yeah.
And to come to today where you're ready to do this all over again is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. So absolutely.
So how do you know us? So what do you know about it? So in our book, is it this book? Yeah, it's this one. There is a chapter, or I call it a chapter. Yeah, they got me my glasses. I usually don't wear my glasses because I think that I'm not cute with them on. I try to be cute. There is in our book, our first book called Flatlined Love, because our marriage died. It flatlined, and only God could resuscitate it. I dedicated a chapter to a young lady. Her name is Antoinette. So I think it comes before the children. Let me see. Give me a minute. I got to read this.
Well, you have to tell them who Antoinette is.
I'm going to tell them. Let me set it up. I'm going to tell them who Antoinette is after I read it. There it is. I'm going to actually put my glasses on. Cute or not. How about that? Those yours? Okay. Oh, he got his, and I'm so proud of him. My husband don't wear his glasses for nothing. Y'all didn't even know he wore glasses. Okay, so I'm going to read it. It says, Antoinette, a message from Linda. I want to pause to speak about my mess and my messenger. I did not know just how much I needed an Antoinette in my life until January of 2008. Our marriage was being tested in a way that was horrific and devastating for me. I was feeling victimized and very sorry. I could do this without crying for myself. I could not see my wrong for the bitterness that had overtaken me. My Antoinette instructed me to be still and to allow God to speak to me. She said, and I quote, "While you are praying and asking for comfort, just know he will shine a little light on your mess as well. He, being God, will shine light on me while I'm asking him, comfort me, God, get me through this." Well, I have to let you know that it was not a little light that God shined on me. It was a big fog light. I ran back to church and I said, "I thought you said he was going to shine a little light on me." He shined a big fog light on me. That's what I said to her. She said, "Well, I guess you had more mess than I thought." Back then, and I want to say y'all still love me after I tell y'all this, but see, when you get 55, you really don't care if the people love you or not when you know you're speaking right. And I'm 55, and yeah. So I said, well, you know what? When she was trying to get with me, I was running from her because I didn't want any accountability. I didn't think I needed it. And she didn't know me. So she was almost like, "Where the hell with you?" Well, no, that is what she said. And so she didn't know me. And so it was a young lady in church. She said, "You know what? I don't know her real good, but I know that Linda Lee is worth running after." And she came back after me again. I didn't want to hear it. And I got snappy and smart and called her a little name. And she got snappy and called me back that name. And I was like, whoa. Now, this is very dysfunctional, what I'm about to say. I was like, oh, I can get with her. What kind of crap is that? Because she wasn't scared of me. And she stepped to me. And my little ghetto acting like I got this together. She was like, okay, I'm from the whatever side in D.C. I can get with you. I fell in love. I'm like, oh, what kind of... That let you know how crazy I was. She told me to be still, to go home and be still. You said, do not ask him to move your problems. He shined a big fog light on me. So I thought Antonio and I were separated. He left. He rolled out, y'all. And I was a victim because I stayed and I was the one and I. And, but he showed me my mess. He was missing me. God was missing me. I used to be his boo. But I was taking more time up focusing on Antonio than I was me and his relationship. And she walked me through that. How did you, I want to say, how did you know that I had mess, but why would you tell me to be still?
Well, the reason why I told you to be still, number one, is because oftentimes when we go through challenges in our relationship, we don't look at ourselves. We place all our focus on the other party.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Antoinette. Cherie Antoinette. And I call her my Antoinette. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And so we focus on what the other person is doing, everything that they're doing wrong, but we don't look at ourselves. We don't get introspective and look at ourselves and find out where our mess is. And it's not until we do that we're able to truly see what the issues are and we're able to grow. And so in your case, as much as we didn't know each other, we knew each other. You're my sister in the spirit in so many ways. It was like you are my mirror image, and I've been where you were at that time. And I knew you just spiritually. I knew that side of Linda that everybody else didn't know, because I had that side too. And so I was able to connect to you in a way that most people weren't able to, because everybody else saw church Linda.
Right.
I wore that mask well now.
Yes.
If I could add one of the things, just as an innocent bystander, and then I became not so innocent.
Okay, and not so much a bystander.
And not so much a bystander. Right. It's called ear hustling.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of y'all might call that being nosy. But one of the things I realized is that you also had the courage to tell her the truth. And unfortunately, most of us grow up in culture, and whether that's pop culture, whether that's church culture, whatever the culture is, the culture teaches you to, quote, put your best foot forward. And I'm going to tell you that fake won't serve you well. And the truth of the matter is that you was able to not worry about her putting her best foot forward. It's, no, this person is hurting. And they don't recognize that I see that because they're talking to me. And I don't know if you've ever been in that scenario where you're talking to somebody and you're saying, that's me. And I think that culture teaches you to hide behind the fact that you can't be transparent and say that. And I think that unfortunately what that does is it serves for that vicious cycle to keep going on and on and on. And nobody gets free because no one speaks truth.
Right. And the reason why I was able to be so bold and to speak to you was because I had been where you were. I had been that person before that went through, it's no secret for those that know me, this is my third marriage. So I've had failed marriages before. I know what that's like to just walk away and not look at yourself and see the wrong in you. And so I didn't want you to go through what I went through. I saw something special in you and Antonio, and I knew that you guys could get through that, but you needed somebody to speak truth to you because you were used to everybody co-signing with you.
Right. Absolutely.
Kissing me.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
You'll put it like that.
Right.
Right. And so you needed somebody to speak truth to you. And like you said, I was bold enough to because I wasn't scared of you.
Right.
Because I saw who you were. And I knew that as rough an exterior as it may have come across, I knew that there was somebody very gentle inside of there. And you just needed somebody to give you some real tough love and to help you through that season.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
This would be a good place for somebody to clap.
Yeah, it would be. Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm trying not to leave this. Okay.
I think they're a little caught up. They're a little caught up.
They all like, really? Wow.
Okay, yeah. So, Glenn,
Yes, ma'am.
why did you used to tell me I was strong and wrong?
Mm.
And, okay, so you told me I was strong and wrong, but I used to run after you. And I used to always tell you, you need to get with, and won't you get with him? I used to try to, because she saw something in me.
Mhm.
I saw something in you that looked like him. So she and I always said, we're sisters. And you guys call each other brothers from a different mother. Why?
Well, I think that, and again, let's just be real honest.
Please.
When you're in a relationship for as long as they were at that time as you guys, you feel like you know everything. You feel like I've been there, I've done that, I know it. You can't tell me anything that I don't know. And so when I say strong and wrong, it comes out of that place of you're moving because you really are sincere. The problem is that you're sincerely wrong. And again, because I'm from the outside, I don't share your inside experience. And in this case, that's a great thing because now I get to see stuff that's in your blind spot. And so when I say you're strong and wrong, what I'm saying is that you're sincere, but you're sincerely wrong. Here's how I know. When you go after a person who's bent on running, they will just keep running. It's called a 2-year-old. If you decide you want to chase after a 2-year-old, good luck. Because at this particular point, they just going to keep running. And depending on how in shape you are, you can already get wore out.
And that's funny because I have a 2-year-old grandson.
You know what I'm saying?
And the more I run after him, the more he think it's funny.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because now, they think this is one thing and you are thinking it's another. And it takes somebody from the outside looking in saying, no, let me tell you what it really is. What it really is that this man knows he's wrong. What it really is that this man knows he's wrong. And the more we tell him, you tell him, I tell him. That's why, women come to me all the time. Can you tell my husband? No, I can't tell him nothing. Because here's what I know. If you are not ready to hear me, first of all, you don't even know me. So if I go step to you, I better be ready to fight. At this particular point, and I'm too old for that. And the truth be told, when I was younger, I wasn't very good at it. So the truth, why would I want to sign up for that, right? No, here's what I believe. I believe that you can't change people. But I also believe that just like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. I don't think that's true. I think that that's a matter of how much salt you put on his tongue.
On the horse's tongue.
On the horse's tongue. And salt is literally environment. Your job as a woman, as a wife who's trying to get your husband to see something is to simply stop, create an environment that makes him thirsty.
What does that
and
look
at that
like?
particular point, that now he comes back.
So what does the environment look like? So you're saying that we need to set the environment before the salt?
No, so the salt and the environment are one and the same.
What does that look like?
Right. And so the salt is you changing your attitude, you changing how you respond. That's the salt. And so you start, what is the saying? You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. So when you start being more loving, when you change and you focus on you, on your areas that need to grow, we firmly believe that you can't change another person, but as you change, their response and their reaction to you changes. It's just natural.
Right.
So if I change, if I've been being mean and nasty and cantankerous, if I stop being mean, nasty, and cantankerous, people around me are going to respond to me differently than they did when they were responding to that nasty person.
Absolutely.
And so that's how you create the environment. That's how you change the environment in your relationship.
And the only way you can do that is to slow down and begin to do work. And I think that that's when I say, no, stop. Because you need to slow down. And you need to recognize and be extremely self-aware that what you're trying to do, first of all, you don't have the capacity to make anyone do anything. You can't control this person. The only thing you get to control is you. And the challenge is that most of us don't look at energy as currency. And so we're spending energy trying to control that which we cannot control. So therefore, when it comes time for you to control that which you actually have the power to control, you no longer have the energy to do it.
So nothing gets changed.
Nothing gets
you
changed.
nor the situation.
It's a vicious cycle.
So let's talk about coaching. That's what you do.
Yep.
Okay. That's what you do. I mean, you as plural.
Yes.
I want to know, tell the people what you do. I said coaching, but what you do and why, and is there an etiquette to this? Is there an etiquette? I was speaking with someone this morning, and they're in coaching. We just had a client last week. I knew going in that I was going to set the tone for the etiquette, because usually that first coaching session is blame. What do you do and why? And tell us a little bit about how you set the tone for coaching etiquette. They're not going to come in, because I know you handle it.
Right. You want me to start?
You can start.
When you say etiquette, I hear structure. And
What do we do first?
Oh,
right. What do you do and why? Yeah.
Gotcha.
So maybe you should have started.
Okay. I'll start. Okay, so we're marriage, and we have an organization, and we have a community that we've developed. It's called Marriages and Parenting Successfully. Marriages and Parenting Relationships Successfully. And what it is a community that we develop for couples and parents to come together, where we help to create an environment, a community for them to be able to have the support that they need. And we also help them to develop relationship skills, whether it's communication skills, conflict resolution, all the skills that you need to be successful in your relationships. We also are relationship coaches. And so we meet with individuals one-on-one, whether it's premarital coaching, whether it's couples currently in relationships that need coaching to go through certain things in their relationship, parents dealing with certain challenges in their relationships. And the reason why we do it is, as I shared before, I've been married twice before. Glenn's been married once before. And because we've had failed relationships, we feel like it's our obligation to share with others the tools and the tips that we've learned to be able to have a successful relationship now. We're coming up on our 20th anniversary.
January.
And we've had 20 years in a row.
31st.
Absolutely.
And we've been able to win in our marriage. And we like to say sometimes that we almost cheated, because we got to take the failures from our past relationships and use those as a guide to help us in our relationship now. And so it's been our heart, it's our passion to help other people. For me personally, I don't want to see another woman go through any of the stuff that I went through any of the heartache that I went through. And so that's why I'm so devoted and so passionate about working with women, especially in their marriages and their parenting, because I believe that there's nothing that you go through in a relationship that if you truly are willing to do the work, that you can't get past.
Right.
I believe you can get past pretty much anything in a relationship.
So when you ask it, thank you, sweetie. So the truth is, when we do what we do, the way we're able to sort of deconstruct what people are going through is that we set guidelines, we set boundaries, and we set a structure. It first starts with, we don't coach people who we don't assess. As a coach, let me give you a quick understanding and the difference between us and a counselor, okay? As a coach, my job is to assess where you are. That takes me sitting you down long enough to ask questions, right? I have to ask you questions. Then once I assess where you are, the truth of the matter is that now my whole purpose is to build a game plan to help you get from where you are to where you need to be. That's the difference. We are coaches. We're not counselors. We're not going to hold your hand, and we're not going to talk about and sing Kumbaya for the next 20 years about how you feel. That's not what I do. You got the wrong one. Good. So what we do is we will create a game plan. What are you going through? X, Y, and Z. We sit down with both parties. If it's both parties involved. Here is what you need to actually do to get to where you want to be. And then our job becomes to create an environment. Sometimes it's a group coaching environment. Sometimes it's a one-on-one. But the environment is designed to hold you accountable to what you said you wanted. And at that particular point, I believe that's where growth takes place. Growth takes place in an environment of accountability and love. And when that happens and you have it, it's no reason why you can't go through anything that you're going through. And
so you know I'm about to use. It's so funny. We were texting one day, and I said, "Remember, like you always teach us." And you hit back and say, "Oh, I did say that. I got to use that again." You teach us that sustainable growth.
Yes. Yes.
That's lasting.
Yes.
That's not going anywhere.
Yes.
That's foundational.
Yes.
Sustainable growth.
Yes.
That growth. You're
Yes.
not in the same place anymore.
Right. Absolutely. Real quick illustration, Linda.
But let me finish the statement.
Absolutely.
Sustainable growth only happens in community.
Right. And that's why the reason why is because life happens in circles.
That's
Life
right.
doesn't happen in rows.
That's right.
Life happens in a garden. It doesn't happen in silos. If you think about a silo is not designed to breed life. It's designed only to store things, period. I don't care what you put in it. But because it sets alone, it's designed to store. However, you can take the same grain, the same seed that you put in a silo that's designed to store that will never grow in that silo, put that same seed in a community or a garden of other seeds, sunlight, and the whole nine, I promise you'll see a seed grow into something that it was designed to be.
You said if they do the work earlier.
Right.
Let's just throw a scenario. Sally, John, we have a question. Let me do a real quick scenario. Sally, John come to you. They want to make it work. They are at odds, right? For whatever. And you sit down with them with the game plan. How do you know doing the work? What does that look like? How do you know? How would you know as their coaches whether they're doing it, or would you know after one or two visits that they ain't gonna do this?
Well, before you sit down with the game plan, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. I'm going to assess their situation. In that assessment, most often I can tell if somebody's going to do the work. I'll assess you for 30 minutes, and I can promise you within 10 minutes, I can tell whether or not you're going to do the work. And the reason why is because doing the work looks like something. It actually sounds like something. It's a language. You are, even though you don't know what to do, when you want to do something to fix where you are, you sound a certain way.
Right. And I think it's based on their why. Why are they coming to us? If they're coming to us just because they want some relief, they want a magic pill, we can't help them. But if they're coming because they really want their relationship, they want to get past whatever they're going through, they're willing to look at themselves and realize that they need to grow individually, then we know that they're going to be willing to do the work. But when they come and they're constantly pointing, well, she doing this and she doing it's his fault. It's his fault. They point at the other person. They're not willing to look at themselves. They're not going to do the work.
Yeah. And so I will tell people in a minute, I'm one of the few coaches you'll find that will fire you.
Yeah, okay. So I was going to ask that. So that's in order to fire your client.
Yeah.
They've already been coming.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you fire them when what?
When there's 6 stages of growth. I don't have time to unpack that. There's 6 stages of change. And psychologists will show you that and tell you that. We ain't got time to go through that. However, when I can identify that there is no desire for you to go from level 1 to level 2, it's time for you to find somebody else.
Give me something. I know we don't have time. Give me something specific. I need to touch it.
So let me give you an example. When a person comes to us and they're finding themselves so hurt that all they can do is blame, and I begin to unpack why you are hurt and why you are blaming. And if I can't get them to own the fact that that is even true, at this particular point, over a period of time, you now are not willing to see your truth. And so for me, it can be anything. We can make it up. Your husband is cheating on you, right? And the truth of the matter is that you're upset about that and you want to help fix that. And I help you understand, first of all, your husband's not cheating on you because of anything that you've done. So let's first of all deal with the fact that you have no control over whether or not your husband cheats. You can't sex him enough. You can't talk to him straight enough. You can't beg him. You can't pay him. You have to understand that there is something wrong with him that causes him to want to step outside of your relationship. However, the question begs, what can I do? Here's a great question, because now what I can help you understand is that there are some things that you need to adjust within you so that you can see the situation completely different. As you go to work on those things, the next question from that person should be, well, what are those things?
Right. And if that's not the question, that's a
question,
sign right there.
That's a sign that you're not willing to work. Because at this point, I tell people all the time, most people don't want help. They want relief. Mm-hmm. Most people don't want help. Let's make sure we understand.
Please say that again. They're here to learn.
As coaches, when you come to me, I'm identifying whether you want help or you want relief. If I discern that you want relief, I will tell you, I don't think you want my help. Why do I say that? Because help is going to denote by definition that you do some work. And if you're not willing to do that work, then you really don't want help. You really want me to just wave a magic wand and cause it to go away. Make sense?
Is that the question? Was that the question? Okay, we'll give them that. Please, they want to know how they can find you.
Okay. Yeah, in order to find us, to learn more information about what we do, you can go online to www.thecrcoach, that's THECRcoach.com. And when you go to our website, you can sign up for a free coaching assessment. And that way you can get to talk to us and we can assess whether or not we can help you or if there's any direction we can point you in to provide you some assistance.
Can George put that on? You know how he puts the phone number up for them to call? Ask him, can he put that up? It's the THECR
coach.com.
And for those that are inquiring, CR stands for Constant Relationship
Coach.
Okay.
Like, what's the CR stand?
Okay, we got to go to and make that break thing. Oh, this is so good. Okay, because I definitely had something else before we got to that. But okay, so I'm being mandated. All right. What do I have? And we do this now. I got 2 minutes to go to break, or I got 2 minutes to say something else. 2 minutes to say something else. He's so cute when he do his little floor directing thing with me. So I can talk a little bit more, right? I can get lighted to bed. We just do this. What do you, when you fire somebody, and you say, hey, I can't help you. Have you ever had someone that you did that to, that they came back and said, you know what, you were right, I can get this? When is it, I guess my question is, when is there ever a time where you can't be helped?
I think the only time, and you can probably chime in on this, the only time, you are the only person that gets to decide when you can't be helped. I don't think there's any situation, let me just make sure you're very clear. I'm very clear. I was married for 12 years prior to Cherie. And
yes,
even after that horrendous period of time for her, because when I married my first wife, she wasn't the witch I made her out to be.
Talk about that.
You understand what I'm saying? So I was a habitual adulterer. I stepped out on my wife regularly. We won't even get into the number because it's just absolutely shameful. The truth of the matter is there was something going on in my soul. There was something going on in me. And I had a void and something was going on. And so the truth, as we get ready to go to commercial, I do want to let you guys know that you have to decide at some point what you want. And once you begin to work on what you want, you can then go to change it. I know we got to go to commercial break. I'd like to pick this up on the other side if you want. And then we'll just give you the answer.
We're actually just transitioning to music. Is that it? That's why we're going to commercial? Okay, so my commercial is going to be more so just talking about them, right? Okay, so
ask the question one more time because I'm going to give you a short answer to that one.
Is it ever a time that you cannot be helped? Let me say this right before you go to that. Our commercial is flowing into wisdom today, and then I'm going to flow into them, okay? When you said if that person is cheating, and that, you cannot blame yourself for your spouse cheating.
Correct.
There is something wrong with them.
Correct.
Even when they do it supposedly out of justification.
Correct.
So I love transparency, openness, and I need you guys to understand, and I need you all to understand, especially when we're transparent, because it's my family. When I'm transparent, it's not just to tell my business, because honestly, I still carry that part of me in the back of me that would love for you to think that I am all that y'all think that y'all see.
Right.
I am all that you think that you see. That's growing.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me say that. That was a preface. So when I stepped out, okay, because I did. I stepped out because I was a victim.
Gotcha.
And I need to be loved. And he's not loving me, and he's neglecting me, and he's cheating.
Gotcha.
But just because he was,
Yes.
the fact that I did it,
Yes.
something was wrong with me. Something in me needed to know I got to be held now. You need to tell me I'm pretty in my ear all the time, 24 times a day. See, something wrong with me.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, something wrong with him.
Absolutely.
But my focus got to be here before it can be there. Isn't that the airplane thing? I got to put the mask on me before I put the mask on the baby.
Absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely.
Right. You can't, if we went through life responding every time somebody did something wrong to us, we're going to respond in kind. This would be a very horrible place to live. You know, you can't.
In the cowboy days.
Right.
The Western days.
You cannot blame. Nobody should have that amount of power over you as an individual that their actions cause you to do anything.
Right.
Say that again. And I want you to say it this time, not looking at me, but looking at the camera.
So nobody should have that much power in your life that their actions cause you to do something or not do something. You are in control of yourself. You are in control of your emotions. You're in control of what you do. I don't care what Glenn does. I don't care what anybody does to me. I get to choose how I'm going to respond. So that's a cop-out when people will say, you know, he did this, and so I'm going to do this in response to that. You know, that's the easy way.
Right.
That's taking the easy out instead of you just focusing on you and be like, okay, well, they're doing whatever they're doing for whatever reasons they're doing it. They need to deal with that. I'm going to continue to grow and be me. Right. I'm going to continue to grow as an individual. I'm not going to allow that to cause me to come out of character, to come out of who I am in response to them. I'm not giving anybody that much control in my life that their actions control me.
Power.
Right.
You're giving them power.
Right.
Power.
And if I could interject just really quickly, I'm not sure how much time we got, but here's the deal, guys. Let me help you out. By definition, self-awareness is just simply this. I am so aware of who I really am that I can take the temperature of my emotion while there are other emotions going on in the room.
What does that look like, Glenn?
It literally means that although I am anxious and you are anxious, I'm not going to allow myself to become even more anxious, thus throwing off the dynamic of the room. Case in point, we come in, this is a taping, this is a show, this is a live deal that we got to go through. I understand productions well enough to know there is no way I am going to give this room any energy because it's got energy of its own. And so if I do that, what it does is it takes the host off course. It takes everybody else off course. So I need to just chill. I need to ride all the way low so that they can do what needs to be done. In relationships, the way that happens is because she comes in with an attitude, you get an attitude. And then now you got fire, giving fire room and power.
That's
and
good.
Then now you
good.
Can't put that out because both of y'all have gotten completely outside of who you're supposed to be.
Amen. Okay. Woo! Y'all can do better than that. That was a $300 coaching session right there. Okay, the child just got. Look, I love you guys for being here. I love you all for being here. And I was supposed to introduce him, but he just brought it on up. A lot of you never seen you, right? Yeah, a lot of you have never seen him. Twice you've been. Oh, okay. So I brought him up for his birthday, and that was it. That was once. So this is my honey bun, y'all. This is my boo thing.
I love it.
Like he works the floor. So it's so funny because when people come who are guests and they see he and my daughter Sadia and Mariama, I'm surprised she's not crawling across the floor to get a shot. And my other son, too big to be sliding some places he do. But I thank God that he just gravitates on. And this is him. This is him. Yay. And so it's so funny because I told her when Glenn them came, I said, I asked you, I said, you like my wedding outfit? Ba-boom.
Yeah.
Ba-boom. This is it. This is the coach call, right? It's on you guys. This is the coach talk. And you get to ask us why we're dressed like this, what's going on. Why no gown to the floor?
Before we get started, I'm curious. What in the world is this 8 candle, a pen? We got blank paper. What is this?
What is that
for?
What is it? Here, baby.
Basically, I want to answer that. This is what I made a vow at the beginning of the year, before 432 came, that we're going to start a new book. And right now, what this symbolizes is an empty page. And this is our life. This is our marriage. So we starting all over. We're writing a new book. And you can be a part of that chapter. And I got a pen because we're going to put some words to the paper. And number 8 is God number of new beginning. We are beginning again. After 32 years, we are beginning again.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
See, y'all don't understand. He don't talk. So the three of us sitting up here just like, oh God, he's talking. Like, you know, you're at your preschool, your pre-K graduation. You're more proud there than your high school grade. Like, oh my God, look,
Right.
walk up there, go on up there and get it, Jenny. So I'm sitting there like, oh boo, you talk, you did like 3 whole 5 sentences. We laughing. Y'all like really, he don't talk and he meant everything you said, right?
So here's what I do. I'd like to ask, this is the coach's corner. One of the things I want to understand, Antonio, because first of all, I disagree. He talks a whole lot to me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why I say it. Let me say this why. And what Linda means is that Antonio, your natural bent, your natural personality, your temperament, if you will, is one of just a dude who's just low key. You don't say a whole lot, generally speaking. But what I do know is that you're extremely passionate, man. Extremely passionate about what it is that you feel, what you're doing. You just said something I think was significant, and that is this paper represents a blank sheet. After 32 years, how in the world do you come to the conclusion that you're willing to rewrite the script and y'all have lived this much life? What causes you to come here?
Well, for me, I had to erase my past. Sometimes you had to unlearn what you have learned and relearn again. And I'm willing to do that.
Love it.
And to let God lead me along that way. Because I was trying to do it one-on-one by myself.
Love it.
But I know what I kept getting in the way.
Love
Kept
it.
bumping my head.
Love it.
But now I'm allowing God to lead me.
I like it. And the reason why I asked that question is because I think there's so many people, Linda, when they go through this kind of journey, it's a journey. And there are so many things along the way that make you want to stop, stay stuck, and you want to stay in that place. I see that y'all are wearing purple. I see that you guys got on, you know, your wedding outfit. Talk to us a little bit about the meaning behind that.
So we didn't want the pump in circumstance. The pump in circumstance. I am, people would think I'm a wedding killer. I am not a wedding killer. I love weddings. However, from experience and coaching, especially my ladies, and it doesn't even matter how old or how young, they don't get married, they get wedding.
Explain
so
that
grammatically, I know my grammatical system, they get wedding. Explain it.
Explain that.
This is what they get. So, you know, it doesn't matter how many premarital sessions they get. If they've already paid that money on that venue, and her dress is done, and her girls have sat down and picked out a color scheme, it don't matter what they
get married.
Yep.
Please get married.
Period. No matter what
it
y'all
don't
say.
matter what y'all say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
if the ring is being paid for on a plan,
Yep.
and I know them, I know women who are paying the plan. Okay, they get married. I had a sister tell me not too long ago, I'm getting married, and she picked a month. I was like, okay, I didn't even know. Let me go congratulate. He don't know yet.
Stop playing.
But I said, okay. I said,
that's
so
real though.
Oh, that's real deal.
That's real.
And my heart broke.
Wow.
And so I pulled her out, and I was rapping to her because I kind of talk 70s lingo every now and then, so y'all gonna have to dig it, okay? I used to have my big fro,
Right.
but I said, so what? You dating somebody else? I said, okay, so you just made up your mind. So I'm counting. This is June. So where's the courtship time? Where's the
Right.
But no. I'm getting
Right.
that whole biological clock. That's why I did the play 50 miles per hour. Because I'm letting them know what? Just you living. Okay, so they get wedding. I'm back to your question. It's about a wedding, honey. It is about a wedding. The gown, the little trinkets, the plateware, the colors. And they don't hear anything being said at that wedding. So we wore the shirts today. One is purple because we along the way we forget. It's an ongoing thing sometimes. We forget to do something that purple represents royalty. He is my king. I don't treat him like a king all the time. I'm gonna let that soak in. So all y'all who see our Facebook pictures, like, not y'all, girl, whatever. Look, we cute that day. We feel like doing this. Okay. I never said on my pictures when I'm all booed up with him that every single day, 50 times a day, we're like this. No, we might just fuss right after we took it, or might have fussed before. I'm not doing it to be fake. I'm telling you the truth.
Right.
And he don't always treat me like a queen. How about that?
Yeah.
And sometimes I got my crown on. He snatched the jewels from the. You want to talk about that part? Because I don't want to talk for my brother because I respect him.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say my brother?
Right.
Yeah.
So when we were separated in 2008, I never forget. And I'm going to call her name. I'm going to give her credit. I never forget. Jill Cloud came to me because I had went to the elders of the church. Come on now. Y'all controlling women out there trying to play like you're not. I went to the elders and had a meeting. And I had a meeting and asked them to put him out the church. See, they're laughing because they were the elders in that meeting. And so Jill said, did you hear the message that was taught this morning? I said, She said, you don't think he should have been here to hear that? I was like, but I've been hurt. And him stepping in that door is going to just wound me. And something like, she said, I get it. You're more concerned about him being your husband than your brother in Christ. You're more concerned with that than his soul.
Come on now.
That brother needed that word so he can get delivered.
Absolutely.
So when you get wedding, you're thinking about that ceremony. And let me tell you guys something. Sorry, you're so smooth. She put her finger up. Let me know. You can go through some stuff in that marriage. You won't even remember your colors on that day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know somebody right now going through, used to have all their wedding pictures up. I went to their house. I didn't see one because they don't even want to remember that day.
Right.
We believe in marriage. So let me tell you this really quick so we can move on. So a wise man told us one time, he said, you go and you have your wedding. Walk down the aisle. Everybody waving and crying. You go on your honeymoon. And you do the thing like you don't never do the thing. You swinging from chandeliers, bedposts, positions your body didn't even think he could do. I'm the grown folk in here. Other than my 2-year-old. And when he look back at this, when he 12, he going to be like, oh, grandma. Yeah, and I'm be so old by then, ain't going to remember what I said. Then you get and pulling your driveway and something on your porch waving at you. And you're like, do you know him? Do you know him? It's called marriage. Marriage waiting on you to get back out of the clouds. It's a real deal Holyfield. So we got on purple to represent the fact that we are going to be very cognitive, deliberate, and intentional about treating each other like the reigning king and queen that we are. Right. We got the words on here that said we still do and always will, because we got to remind ourselves so that when he getting on my nerve and I'm getting on his, that I made a promise in front of some people and God, right? We got the number on the back.
Uh-oh. I love it. I love it.
Because we need to remember 1986. We did this thing a long time ago, and we still hanging. Number one song, y'all know I love music. The number one song on the charts when we got married was You Don't Have to Be Beautiful. Hey, y'all come on. Prince.
Right.
And Janet was hitting out with Control.
Right.
Don't play with me.
Right.
So we were hanging out then, and we're hanging out now when Bruno's saying, whatever he's saying. That's why. The white. You tell him why the white.
Well, the white is represent friendship, because we were friends before we was lovers. Right. Before we said I do. And now we get wearing white again because we're friends, and I still do again.
I love it.
Awesome. Don't play, we still lovers.
I love it.
So our musical guests are coming now. We're going to have Miss Angela Woodward. She's going to serenade us. We're going to get out of her way. We got to get out of her way, Saudi. We don't. She's going to serenade us, and then she's going to swoon out the way. That means moving swag-like, so that Miss Taviette can come and blow the ceiling off. And Mr. George, when she blows the ceiling off the studio, we're going to do a payment plan, okay? We got 10 minutes. That means you guys got 5 minutes apiece, right? We got total. They know. I need to hush and let them do their thing. Everybody, I introduce to you Miss Angela Woodward.
I think it relationship. Y'all went through your ups and downs. 32 years is a long time, and you never could make it up bad.
Good afternoon, everyone, to the panel, and to Mr. and Mrs. Lee. Congratulations. Thank you again for inviting me, and I pray that you are blessed. This song is dedicated to you and to you as well. This song I had the privilege and the honor to listen to, and it symbolizes exactly where both of the couples are on this panel, on this stage. And it's an honor to sing about love from a biblical standpoint, but also from an eros standpoint, because it's needed. So this song is titled You and I by Stephanie Mills. You and I together for all times. I know we can make it. You and I have found the love of the dreamer. No one else can take it. You and I could be the love for all times. I know we'll find a way to stay together. We'll find that special place in the sun. Love turned our two hearts into one. Every time we kiss, shows me what I miss. All I need is your sweet love. For you, I'll do anything. Oh, yes, I will. You and I could be together for all times. I know we can make it. Thank you.
We're gathered here 32 years later, not to renew, but to refresh. And so today, Antonio and Linda, you guys come here to witness, or the world gets to witness what you guys, in the declaration you guys have made 32 years ago. And today you decided you're going to hit the reset button and write a new story for the next 32 years, at least, right? And so here's what I want to do really quickly before we ask you guys, and I know you got your own vows. I want to say this very quickly. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8 says, love is patient and it's kind. Love does not envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. I want to encourage you that when you talk about marriage, you're talking about a covenant versus a contract. See, a covenant says until death do us part. The contract says when you screw up, I'm out. The covenant says, you know what? Even when you mess up, I got you. I can cover you. There's something bigger than us that's happening here. The contract says, no, that clause says that if you do this, I'm done. And so one of the things that I'm encouraged by in this particular scripture where you did to concern, I've watched y'all. We were here 6 years ago when we did it at 25 and we were at an altar. And from 25 to 32, you guys have grown up. I've watched you mature over the years. I've watched you not only mature, here's a sign of maturity when you can bring others along. Your leadership has grown to the point to where you're birthing other leaders. And that's a mark of maturity. The scripture says right here, it says, love, it does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but it rejoices with the truth. There was a time where we all had the conversation where you were strong and wrong. You were running and were content on running. But the truth is that you guys decided to stand and be strong and stand in your truth and own it. And for that reason, many people are able to say, you know what? I now know what it looks like. And so if you guys have the vows, I'd like you to go ahead and say them at this point.
Okay. Antonio, I vow to you today to listen as much as I talk. We laughed in the kitchen. I wanted to say more, but that's going to take a few more years for me to do that. I vow to you today to support your dream. You're always the wind beneath my wing, but I want to be the wind beneath your wing. You got some aspirations. God has said something to you too. I vow to you today to study you, to study your temperament, to become fluent in your love language, and to slow down as I'm learning them. I vow to you today to be very cognizant of my addictions of control. I am a recovering control freak. And I as I go through my therapeutic advancements to be a better person, I will be cognizant that I'm a better person for you. I vow to you today to never love you more than I love God. Never, ever will you come before God. I vow to you today that I will move and have my own being in him outside of you. I vow to you that makes me a better person. I'm not a good wife if I think you are my everything for real. You're not. You're my husband. I love you. You're my best friend. But I'm an entity. I'm coming to you whole. You're not my better half making me whole. I'm coming to you whole today and wanting to be better.
Well, let me start off. First of all, I vow that I will be whole. First of all, it starts with me as the head, but not just the head of you. I'm the head of me. So I got to come to you whole, and I had to see myself for who I really was, and had to be truthful with myself. So I want to vow to you to get to know me. And I vow to you this day to love not just your body, but your mind as well. So it's not about the physical, it's about the mental and the spiritual. I vow to love you as a woman of God that you are, and all your endeavors. I'm here, not just as your husband, but as your friend, because we was friends before we was anything else. So I vow to you today and to anyone else. When we first got married, we were just two kids, just going through the motion, because there's no manual in marriage. So you learn, it's on-the-job training. And now that I have trained through the ups and downs, now I know what to do and how to do it and when to do it. It's a time and place for everything, as in Ecclesiastes say. It's a time and place for everything. And now it's time for me to teach more than I know. I vow to you today to give you me. Now, will you accept me as me?
I don't know. Gonna get on your knees? I do.
What I'd like to do is just close with this. Y'all do me a favor, hold hands. I just want to pray, and I just want to be able to help solidify some things before we do. Antonio, look in your wife of 32 years. Look into her eyes and say, Mrs. Lee, today is the day that we start again. I do. I always did. And I always will. Linda, look into your king's eyes and say, Mr. Lee, today is the day that we hit the reset and the redo button. I did then. I do now. And I always will. Father, I thank you for these two. I thank you for the witness that has been spoken of, not only in words, but in deed. And I thank you for those that will come behind them and that will truly say that I thought that there was not a manual written, but now I get a chance to see, no, there's a manual. I just need to read it. And it's their lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I'm not sure how much time we have. but I do want to answer this question. There are a lot of people that may be pondering this question as to what is your why? Why do this again after all these years? If you had to just kind of bottom line it, what would be your why, Linda?
My why for doing it is because every 4 years I have to renew my driver's license. And every 10 years, my passport. But nobody puts a mandate on that marriage license. And we forget and we take for granted. And I don't ever want to take you for granted. So if I have to renew them every 60 days to make me keep my mind sharp on how to be the best I can be for me and him so that God can get the glory, we need to keep doing it and keep doing it so that I can go back through those vows one bit by bit and say, wait a minute, I didn't mean, but yeah, I did. I've been off on that one. I need to self-introspect. That's what the renewal is for me, a self-introspection of this thing called marriage.
Antonio, same question. What's your why?
My why is what I represent here.
I can't hear you.
Want the world to know this is blank. My marriage is a new book. We're going to write new pages to our new book. And it starts here, this day. Open mind, open heart, but everything new.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Lee, again.
Again and again for showing up. I want to thank you for being a part of this huge celebration. I pray you got something. And like I always tell you, I try my best to keep it raw, relational, uplifting, and motivational. And until next time, I'm Linda K. Lee, Antonio Lee, and these are the Brooks Juniors. And all of that came straight from our heart. Until next time, keep it.